Come with me and go down to 1/24 scale rabbit hole. Hope everybody's all right. I wanted to talk to you about the 1/24 scale Max Smasher, the FMS. These things kind of bounce around like a real monster truck and kind of behave like a real monster truck. But there is something to be desired, a few things on here that can be better. So I've made all the modifications that I need to, except this one. What we're talking about today are the shocks, the Proline shocks that came out about a year ago. They have a shorter one that's like 37 millimeters or something, and then the longer one that's 50 millimeters, somewhere around in there. As we all know, Proline shocks are really performance driven. So putting them on 1/24 scale crawlers can be a little help with going uphill and helping the bouncing and so forth. The action on the shock just doesn't have to be that fast. It's very slow. So what we're going to try to do today is get the maximum performance out of these small shocks. So that's why we're going to put them on the Max Smasher. So we'll be going off jumps, and that'll really test the performance of these little shocks. The shorter ones I don't have much use for. I'm going to try on one of my SCX builds. The longer ones, I really feel like I have a good use for those on the Max Smasher. However, there is a problem. Proline does not make these with the little ball joints or the eyelets that are made for the M2 screws. They're all made for the M1s, and that is the SCX 24. So the FMS smashers and the crawlers, they all have M2 hardware. So you have to find a way to get these little eyelets. Either find some to buy on Amazon, which I don't think you really can. I've taken a 2mm drill bit and I've drilled out the SCX eyelets that would fit, and I've just drilled out the holes. You'll have to use different links because the FMS links takes a little ball stud. So I think the links are about from center to eye to the other center of the eye is about 49 millimeters. That's our main goal today, is to look at this long shock and to get this on. All the modifications that I've done is you put the motor, the heat sink, the drive shafts. Found these drive shafts on Amazon. Instead of the set screw just sitting down on the axle, it's got a pin that goes all the way through it. That holds much better. And other than that, everything else is pretty much stock. I've just got a different body mounting system where I use the magnets here in the front. That's what I mean about going down the rabbit hole. There's endless modifications. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna test these shocks. I had the regular shocks on here that you can put oil in, and they work pretty good. They do a decent job. I feel like this thing could really benefit from a smoother travel and a better travel, and usually Proline, they make very good quality products. So I'm hoping this is gonna help the bounciness a little bit, maybe help me go over some larger jumps. The shock weight we're gonna experiment today with is, I've got 25 weight. Now it feels a little soft, so I'm also gonna make a big jump and go to the 70 weight after I do some slow motion comparison on it. We're gonna check that out. I have these cardboard jumps that I've made up. Great for in the house. They're kicker jumps, and these are ribbed on the inside of this, and I hot glued everything, and it makes for a good, nice, smooth kicker jump rather than just a regular triangle jump. These things, it's held up very well. You can see all the hot glue that I've laid down, but these things have lasted a year, and I got a larger one that we use also. So let me go ahead, get into it, and get this suspension swapped out, and we'll get moving. Now, when you do this, you're gonna need to add some little spacers. I've got these little spacers that I've made. What I'm basically using them for is standoffs for the shocks, so the shocks aren't too close to the chassis. Or you can use the little rubber O-rings that come in all these packages and just put about 3 on each side for a standoff. That works well too.